Okay, so let's have a look at our fourth example. Here is the question. Can you remember what step 1 of my technique is? It's to read the example sentence. We last went to Portugal 3 years ago. And the sentence with the missing information. We last went to Portugal. Step 2 is to put a line through the duplicate information in both sentences. So if you haven't done so already, write down this question, the example sentence, the keyword, and the sentence with some missing information. Write them down on a piece of paper or on your computer, and put a line through the words which you find which are the same in the example sentence and in the sentence with the missing information. And when you've done that, press play on this video and we will look at the words which I put a line through. Okay, so hopefully you've done that. And these are the words which I've put a line through. We last went to Portugal. We last went to Portugal. Exactly the same. Don't worry if you put a line through different words. That doesn't matter at this point. We're just practicing. Step 3. Identify the type of word they give you. Is it a noun, a verb, or an adjective? So we have the word years. What type of word is years? Write down what you think on your piece of paper or on your computer, and when you're ready, press play. Okay, so hopefully you've done that. So what type of word is years? Well, years is a noun. And when you think about nouns, you should also think, is it a countable or an uncountable noun? And years is a countable plural noun. So, there's the first few steps. Let's move on to step 4. Is this word, years, used in any common collocations, expressions, phrasal verbs, etc.? So pause the video now, have a think of any common collocations or expressions or phrasal verbs which have the word years in them, and write them down again on your piece of paper or on your computer, and then press play when you've done that. Okay, so hopefully you've done that, and we can see what I've written down, which is that the word years, I couldn't think of any. I couldn't think of any common collocations, expressions, phrasal verb. So that step doesn't help us. Okay, step 5. Can you use the keyword, years, and the information without a line through in the example sentence, so that's 3 years ago, to complete the gap? Pause this video and try and complete the gap using the keyword and the words they've given us, which we haven't put a line through, to complete the gap. And when you've done that, press play. Okay, so hopefully you've done that. And now we can have a look at what I've written in the gap. So I used the keyword years and 3 years ago to say 3 years since we last went to Portugal. Don't worry if you've written something different. Let's keep going through the technique. You can do it with your words which you've written, and I'm going to keep going with my words here. So step 6. If you're not sure about the answer, and I'm not sure about this answer at the moment, so this step's going to be good for me, try asking yourself a question using the information you have. You can pause the video and try to think of your own question, and I'm going to think of a question here now. So when you're ready, press play and we'll have a look at the question I write down. Okay, so hopefully you've written down a question. The question I want to ask myself about this information is, how long has it been since we last went to Portugal? That's the important part. How long has it been since we last went to Portugal? And now I want to try and answer this question. So, how long has it been since we last went to Portugal? Well, we last went to Portugal 3 years ago, or I could say, if I want to keep the same verb tense, that it has been 3 years since we last went to Portugal. How long has it been since we last went to Portugal? It has been 3 years since we last went to Portugal, using the same words. And what I've done is I've taken these words now to complete the gap from the sentence which I needed to fill in. And I've changed it to now, it has been 3 years since. Step 8, can I put a line through all the remaining information? And again, you can pause and see if you've got duplicate information, maybe the words that you've filled into the gap, and put a line through them if they are now the same as the words above, or if they have the same meaning as the words above in the example sentence. So when I do that, I can cross out the 3 years. The only words I have left are ago, but we're saying it's 3 years since I went, so that's the same as saying ago. And here we're using has been rather than went. So there's a small difference there. And that's why we need to keep checking with the rest of the technique with step number 9, whether our answer is correct. So step 9 is the overall meaning of our completed sentence, the same as the overall meaning of the example sentence. It has been 3 years since we last went to Portugal. We last went to Portugal 3 years ago. Yes, that has the same meaning. And finally, step number 10, do the words match each other? It has, okay, so it goes with has, it's third person, been 3 years since. And this is a common mistake in English, using since, using the present perfect tense and the word since. But this is how we write it. We write it in a positive sense. It has been since I did this, or it has been since I did that. So this is the correct way we write this. Present perfect and positive with the word since. And you might want to write down a few more examples or similar sentences on your sheet of paper to practice. I hope you enjoyed this quick video lesson, and I look forward to seeing you when we're looking at our next example, number 5.